Tennis, a sport synonymous with Wimbledon's pristine grass courts and powerful serves, has a surprisingly ancient past. Its roots trace back to medieval Europe, where a game remarkably similar to modern tennis emerged. This ancient game laid the foundation for the sport we know and love today. Its roots trace back to medieval Europe, where a game remarkably similar to modern tennis emerged. In the bustling villages and town squares of medieval Europe, people engaged in various forms of ball games. Imagine monks hitting a ball off monastery walls. These monks, seeking recreation and physical activity, would often play this early form of tennis within the confines of their monasteries. This was the early form of tennis, known then as jeu de paume, meaning game of the palm. The name itself highlights the simplicity of the game, where players used their hands to strike the ball. The game's simplicity, using only hands to strike a ball, made it accessible to people of all classes. From commoners in the streets to monks in monasteries, everyone could partake in this engaging activity. Monasteries, with their enclosed courtyards, provided the perfect setting for jeu de paume to flourish. These courtyards offered a controlled environment where the game could be played without interruption. As the game gained popularity, it spread beyond the monastery walls, captivating the interest of the French nobility. The nobility, always in search of new forms of entertainment, embraced jeu de paume, adding their own flair and sophistication to the game. Eventually, the game evolved, incorporating rackets and more structured rules, paving the way for the modern sport of tennis. The journey from jeu de paume to today's tennis is a fascinating tale of cultural evolution and adaptation. The transition of tennis from monasteries to royal courts marked a significant shift in the game's status. Originally, tennis was a simple pastime enjoyed by monks in the quiet courtyards of medieval monasteries. The game was rudimentary, played with bare hands or simple paddles, and it served as a form of recreation and exercise. No longer just a pastime for monks, jeu de paume became a symbol of leisure and prestige among the French aristocracy. As the game evolved, it caught the attention of the nobility, who saw it as an opportunity to display their wealth and sophistication. The French aristocracy embraced tennis, transforming it into a fashionable and exclusive activity. Royal courts across France constructed dedicated indoor courts, reflecting the game's growing importance. These courts were often grand and ornately designed, showcasing the opulence of the era. The shift to indoor courts allowed the game to be played year-round, regardless of weather conditions, further increasing its popularity. These indoor courts, unlike the simple outdoor spaces of monasteries, allowed for a faster and more sophisticated game. The enclosed environment provided a controlled setting, enabling players to develop more advanced techniques and strategies. The game became more competitive and refined, attracting skilled players and enthusiastic spectators alike. Players began using rackets, initially crude wooden paddles, to strike the ball with greater force and precision. The introduction of rackets was a game changer, allowing for more dynamic and powerful shots. This innovation led to the development of new playing styles and tactics, making the game more exciting and challenging. The use of rackets led to the development of new techniques and strategies, further distinguishing the game from its humble beginnings. Players experimented with different grips, swings, and serves, continually pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Tennis evolved into a sophisticated sport, laying the foundation for the modern game we know today. Tennis's association with French royalty reached its peak during the reign of King Louis X, an ardent enthusiast of the game. This period marked a significant chapter in the history of tennis, intertwining the sport with the grandeur and opulence of the French court. Louis X, nicknamed Louis the Quarreler for his fiery temper, was so enamored with tennis that he had numerous courts built throughout his palaces. These courts were not just places for sport, but also symbols of royal prestige and power, reflecting the king's dedication to the game. His passion for the sport helped to solidify its position as a royal pastime. Tennis became a favorite activity among the nobility, with the game being played in lavish settings, often accompanied by grand feasts and celebrations. However, Louis X's love for tennis proved to be his downfall. His intense dedication to the game often led him to neglect other royal duties, causing friction within the court. In 1316, after a particularly strenuous game, the king died, reportedly from complications arising from a chill caught while playing. This event was a turning point, highlighting the risks associated with the sport during that era. His death, though tragic, further cemented tennis's place in French history, forever linking it with the royal court. The legacy of King Louis X's passion for tennis continued to influence the sport's development, making it an integral part of French cultural heritage.